Call the meeting to order and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Buck, do you want to do the
Oh, I'm sorry.
roll call?
Basardi,
Yes.
Sotheby,
Here.
Fisher,
Here.
Tiedemann, here, Hunwick.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Okay. Approval of the agenda. You should have all gotten an updated one.
I make a motion that we accept the updated agenda.
I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion by Sotheby, supported by Fisher. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Public comments on non-agenda items? That would be you.
Make a motion.
No, he needs to go to the podium.
I'm not afraid.
You know you're not.
Hi, folks. Bill Dunn, Oxford Township Supervisor. I'm here for good purposes, not bad purposes. Nobody's going to be scolded. I was watching TV the other day, and they had a promo. It showed a shot of the lake up here by you guys.
Stony Lake.
Stony Lake?
Picture of Stony Lake down by the dock. Then it went up to the road, and they went along the road, and all you could see is about that much of the lake and a whole bunch of guardrail. I mean, it's a pretty terrible shot. And that got me thinking about the possibility, asking you to think about buying a drone. This drone would be used, I believe, quite a bit, whether it be for events, for parades, for a lot of different uses. If you look at any production now, there's hardly any production done without drones, whether it's showing houses or doing whatever. And I think it would do nothing but, make your broadcast a lot more professional. I've checked on some drones on the internet, and I wouldn't expect your people to go out there and start flying a $1,000 or $1,500 piece of equipment without any training, but you can get these drones for $50, and they even have cameras. I mean, it's almost like a throwaway where you can learn how to use it, and I wouldn't allow your technicians to do it without being able to be pretty proficient in flying these. It doesn't seem like it's that technical, but the product you would get would be well worth the time and the training. And again, if you spend $1,500, you can get a pretty good outfit.
I shouldn't be commenting,
You can.
but I think that you have to have, don't you have to have licenses through the FAA?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet?
Nope.
But we're
I don't know how I'd feel about all of our people just flying a drone around. I mean, it's a good idea, but
I'm talking about for professional purposes for your productions. And they're used all over, and they're just another piece of equipment to put out a very nice product. It's either that or I'm going to call Ken. That was a joke.
That's why we laughed.
I suppose you even have schools to learn how to fly drones, I suppose.
You know, on the internet, I went on there and they've got doing this for dummies. You just take it this far off, and you fly it out, fly it back, and this $100 one, you can crash it. You can become pretty proficient once you start messing around with it.
Aren't some members of the police departments trained in drones flying?
I think so.
yeah.
I saw them out here one day flying.
We have two of them here that do it.
But my point is, I think you've got.
Here.
One of the band people for the high school has a drone that they use, so he might know how to use it.
Oh, okay.
But I think you could become proficient if you have some hand-eye coordination. You could probably pick out any 12-year-old and they'd fly it everywhere.
But I guess I'm questioning why did we take a picture of the guardrail?
He was driving by.
I was, it's actually in their production. You'll.
Right, that's what I'm
where you have a
saying.
picture of the lake. You can see a little bit of the lake, but again, all you see is bushes and guardrail.
Right.
And that just, I would throw that piece of film away.
Right.
You saw that the other
Yeah,
day.
I did.
Because I think I've seen it too, but, I mean, why didn't we take that out, edit that part
I
out?
think he's going to now.
That's what sparked my interest in maybe considering a drone. Again, I just think it would be a nice addition.
Okay, approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion by Fisher, supported by Kreiderman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Bill review.
Make a motion to approve the bill run from October 3rd to October 17th for $19,600.72.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Fisher, supported by Sotheby. Buck, you want to do roll call?
Sotheby?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Hardeman, yes. Ed Hunwick?
Yes.
Sardi?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. The year-to-date revenue and expenditure report.
I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the year-to-date expenditure report.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Kreiderman, supported by Sotheby. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. And we have the distribution report.
I'll make a motion to receive and file the invoice jail distribution report for September 2016.
Support.
We have a motion by Fisher, supported by Hunwick. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Okay, unfinished business, the employee handbook. Lori?
The good news and bad news. The bad news is my computer is completely fried, and I did not have a recent backup of the handbook. The good news is I had somebody at the office work on it in the spring, and she managed to find her copy of it. So I have it, and I was working on it today, trying to make the changes that I had made in the spring before we had began reviewing some of those appendix items. But I also lost in my computer all my copies of my meeting minutes. So does anybody remember what appendix items we had temporarily approved? We had a hold harmless statement, a social media policy, social security number policy. Some of those, I think we kind of approved.
Well, I thought that you sent those to Bob, and he had
Right.
some changes and sent them back to you, but we've never seen them.
Right,
past that.
so in the next week, I should have everything back out.
Okay.
The only changes I think I had to make was some formatting issues, so I have, like I said, 95% complete. I've got to finish the formatting changes, but as of today, I did finally get a copy back up and running.
Okay.
Although I see yours is dated June 2016. How'd you manage that?
How did I manage that?
Yeah, you have. I'm sorry, hope you were okay that I looked
No,
at
go
this.
ahead.
This is actually, does anybody else have a digital version that we emailed out in June? Because Ed's is dated June 2016, so this is actually the latest.
Is that what
package.
you sent me?
I believe.
Okay.
Okay, then I do.
Okay, if somebody can email me
I don't
that so
have
I
it
can
with me.
compare, because actually the one that I am working off of is April of 2016, so this is actually a newer version.
Here?
Well, I need the digital one.
Okay,
Oh.
I can send it to you.
So we should,
David?
so it'll be out for review then, although it may be similar to this package. And then we'll be able though to, for the next meeting, start going over it in its entirety. I think there were still a few questions about whether or not we could search desks and backpacks and vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
So we still had a few things to iron out. And then I know Bob had some notes on the hold harmless clause, so I'll email those out also.
Have you got those? Because I sent him an email and asked him to send them to me because I didn't know that.
He
you
may
had-
not have had a copy of them, because, and I don't have, I always keep emails, I don't have my emails to him regarding those. I found the scan that I sent those to him on, but it's just a PDF scan.
But are they all there?
I have all of his notes, he had handwritten notes on them and sent them back to me, and I have all those.
So it wasn't on the computer?
No,
He
I
gave you
actually, I had
handwritten?
hard copies of them because I was gonna use the copies to fix
Okay,
the items, so.
all right. Well, that's good that you got your computer running.
Well, the computer's not running, I just happened to find another copy of something, so. So word of the day is backup.
I know. Don't they do that out at the township, or was this on your personal?
It was on my computer, and we've had a long issue with getting a good backup in place, and the guy that I had come out to put the backup in, put it on the wireless network, so nobody could access it.
Okay. All right, and then, so the next one is the earmarks.
So can I interrupt you for a second?
Yep.
May I go back, because I'm going to leave? Is there any way I can have that drone put on the next agenda for you guys to either move forward or to nix it?
Well, we can put it on the agenda, but I'd want some more information on it, so if you guys want to investigate it and,
That's what I meant. We don't have to do this real quick. We can either make up a decision to either to have some people bring back some information, or just say it's a bad idea, we're not going to do it. Move one way or another, then just move.
what's everybody think?
Well, I just want to ask, is there some time in the future where you think the township might utilize the service of the drone itself in order to do some plotting of areas, or, no?
I think our camera person has something to say. Oh,
She can't hear you.
Yeah,
Go to the mic.
good girl, good girl.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but I meant to ask that when I was up here before. For the people out in the audience or in the TV land, I asked to maybe put this on the agenda for next month to either continue investigating it or just nixing it and just say we're not going to do it. So we don't have to do anything before then. Just say, we are interested, and just say, you and you just come back with some information and just kind of work into it slowly.
Okay. We can put it on the agenda.
Thank you.
Put it on
You're
the
welcome.
agenda then. Yep.
Okay, the earmarks. Dave or Lori, either one.
There it is. Where were we?
What's that?
I'm sorry.
The earmarks.
No, I'm sorry.
is this something that we're gonna do every month, or?
Yeah, we just have it in the packet, so we can receive and file.
Oh, well then I'll make a motion to receive and file the earmarks for future capital expenditure.
I'll second that.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
There's, we get that from the township. Who writes that on there that it's $200,000?
We do.
We write that?
Yeah.
Do we want to maybe send that back to the township so they're aware of that? So the township knows that we got that set aside? Just a thought? Whatever.
Well, I think that's why we put it in our minutes, so that, don't you guys get copies of the cable minutes?
All it says in the minutes is received and filed, it doesn't give an.
It doesn't know, I'm sure nobody's reading the minutes.
Yeah, he makes a good point.
Of
Well,
course.
shame on them. You should be reading the minutes.
There you go. They got,
I think it should go in the minutes what the amount is, that we received a report that says X, that we have X, and that we continue to put aside that money.
We don't-
But I don't think
Right.
you need to, I think people should be responsible for reading the minutes.
Well, you know, if somebody, they have to be the planning commission meetings, the NOTA meetings.
Well, you know, I read them, Buck, so
Well,
what
I'll
can I
tell you right
say?
now.
You
there's-
read them, right?
I read notice and I read cable, but I don't read things that I'm not involved. I don't read the planning commission minutes. Unless there's something that I want to be involved, I want to know about.
Oh.
My thought would be that there's not a lot of people reading the minutes in the township offices. I just wanted to mention that in case we wanted to send it back to them, you know, and put it in their, or email it back to them or something. So if they want to be aware of it, it's not important. I just thought I'd mention it.
Well, we received the original report from Joe Ferrari. We can send back our little adjusted piece to him, just so he can have that for his records, I guess.
That's a good idea.
That's not up to me. There you go. At least the township, we're aware of that, but you know, how many people in the township are aware of that? I don't know.
It would help them understand where we're coming from.
Yeah, they would know. They could subtract that from this large number that they see every month.
Well, then perhaps we should send it to all of them, because don't they all get this?
Yes. Well, yeah, it's in our packet if they read it, yes.
Because I know Joe gets a
Is that in our
report,
packet?
because he asked me about it.
Yeah, well, no, I don't, no,
So
that's
he
not,
reads it.
that's not in our packet, no. The thing from the county?
Yes.
No, that's being asked for, unless I'm mistaken, I don't think so. That's being asked for from Joe from the county to pass on to us. Because the rest of the board wouldn't be concerned about that.
But what I'm saying is that Joe Young gets a report
Joe.
in his
Sorry.
packet, your township packet, and it identifies that. Because he's brought it to me and said, you've got this much money in there. So I know that you guys are getting it somehow in your packet,
And who
because
mentioned
he
that
knows
to you,
about
Ferrari?
it.
Ferrari
Joe
tells-
Young.
Oh, Joe Young tells you that.
Yes. So if you get a township packet, somewhere buried in the township packet is a report that says that we have this amount
I think,
of money in there. But if we want to go over and say that we have, then I don't know who you're going to send it to.
I think maybe it might be a good idea also to make the auditor aware
Brad
that
mentioned
we've reserved those funds, and maybe it'll show up on the audit is, instead of, unreserved, maybe we can have it say
Right.
reserved funds, because they do read the audit.
Okay, so who do you want to send it to? Just back to Joe Ferrari?
Yeah,
Okay.
unless you want to send it to every treasurer.
Do you want?
I already get it, so,
Sure.
Yeah, just Joe.
I don't think it makes a big deal of difference to Leonard, because we're one of the smallest entities.
well, those do not go out in any of our packets, so none of our board members have ever seen these documents.
No.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to look at Joe's packet, because I know that
Well, yeah, so it's interesting if he actually, if it's in a packet that they're reviewing.
it's in a packet that comes with, for the township meetings.
But I
And
think
he
what
showed
the
it to
point
me
he's
before.
making is that monies are set aside for future location, and he's not sure that that is being distributed.
Well,
Am I understanding correctly?
The
It's basically
clerks are
saying
the-
there's a future purpose to some of this money.
The clerks are the ones that are putting the agendas and the packets together for the meetings, so maybe send Curtis Wright one and whoever does them for the village and say, if this is information that is being passed out, can you please make sure that the one with the notation on it is being passed out?
Okay.
Passed out, put in the packet, or?
Yeah.
So,
Maybe we want to think about it for a month.
are you saying on receipt of this report?
Let
We
me
should-
ask Joe what it is that he's looking
Okay.
at. And then
All right.
that one should be sent to
All right,
everybody.
Okay.
Good question.
Terry?
I have a question I probably should go.
Yes, you do.
It's probably better for Lori to answer, or maybe nobody even knows, but those funds that are being set aside, are they accruing interest? That particular amount?
Well, it's all in
No,
the same
it's all in the
pool.
same thing.
It's all in the same
Right,
pool.
but in 3 years, when you say, okay, now let's put that in our budget, is it going to be that flat amount, or is it going to be with interest?
No, it should be with interest, because this is a report, so this is the Cable Commission's funds are in this report, that's what we're looking at. And for instance, the last month it earned $320 of interest.
Okay.
So that's the way it should be, is that it's always in its own bucket.
It's accruing
and
its own
is-
interest. Okay.
And I think if you look at some of the financials, we're at almost $3,000 of interest, I think, for the year. Yeah, $27.81 in interest we've earned this year.
Thank you. Question answered.
On to new business. The employee warning notice.
I'm not sure what's the point of this.
Oh, I don't know if this employee book has anything about a warning for something like that. We have no problems with any of our employees at all, but that was a form we designed to put in the employee handbook just in case. If we have a problem with one of the employees, we should have a form of if they're having a problem, an infraction, what they're doing, and something to improvement to get better. So that's,
I think you're opening up a can of worms.
when somebody has a problem, we should write them down if somebody has a problem.
Yeah, but you can put notes in their file,
That's what it's for.
but my point is that they're at-will employees. If you decide you're not happy with their performance and you want to terminate, you don't have to have any reason to do so other than you just, I mean, you have a reason in the back of your mind, but you don't have to come up front and tell them. You just,
Yeah, but I don't think this is for termination. I think this is just say an employee is
Im-
continually late.
I understand
for
that, but if
showing
you
up.
pile
And so
these
you
up-
want to talk to them and you say to them, and then you give them a written notice that we've talked to you and that it needs to be your.
but what's the point of the
attendance.
warnings in order to pile
Because
up
maybe they're
some
really
kind of,
a great employee and does excellent work, except they're tardy all the time. So you may want to keep them
just tell them.
because of their worth.
My thought is you're just piling on paperwork when it's not necessary. That's my feeling, because the employee, if he's a good employee and he's having a problem with tardiness, I would just sit down and talk with him. But if you start putting paperwork together and you confront him with paperwork and you give him because you're going to confront the employee with this form, I'm assuming, correct?
Did we run this past legal?
No. We're not saying it's effective. They just
Right.
wanted to
Well,
put it in there and
I-
wants it included in the employee handbook.
I had the
So I
same-
would think that when Bob looks over the employee handbook, he can,
I had the same concern as Ed is, and then I think, though, it's always important then if you were gonna fire somebody to never mention, that, hey, you've got 5 of those in your folder. But then to some extent, I guess I can see that having something in writing maybe.
Yeah, but you can keep a folder or a file on an individual and not disclose what's in the file until you act, if you have to in a legal process. I just think if you present an employee with a form of a warning notice, because what are you warning them of? Your future employment is compromised because of what you're continually doing?
So let's say somebody misses a couple of government meetings 2 or 3 times, you're in trouble.
Again, I just don't, I'm looking at it as, why not sit down and talk with the individual, and if it continues to happen, and then you have to make a decision on your part, what makes sense for you as a manager, if you want that individual still to be part of the team.
Lori?
I think it's probably a really good question for legal because, like I said, I just thought of this as you were talking. So what if somebody did miss a couple meetings and you write them up and then at some point either they quit or you let them go and then there's a legal issue where they're trying to sue us for something? Would it be better in our case then if we said, well, hey, they kind of have a history of not showing up or, So I would say, why don't we just run this by legal and ask his opinion?
Yeah. I come from an environment where this is very common. I mean,
I could see where it's coming through a little bit. If you're gonna fire a person at will, and you can't say, I'm firing you at will because you're retarded, because then you're no longer firing at will, because, and then they have a reason to come back then, and say, well, I really wasn't retarded, you'd have to. So I could see Ed's point a little bit there.
But then if there's a lawsuit years down the road for something else, and you've only ever given verbal warnings with the documentation that, hey, this guy,
right, it's your word against theirs.
But as an at-will employee,
You don't have to have
you're
a word.
subjected to that type of, you can be terminated because they don't like the color of your tie every day you come into work with, I don't,
But really, that's not the case.
No, but it's not, but
Really,
in-
they're gonna end up suing for some crazy reason, or what if they're let go and then they say it was, because I'm a woman, you let me go because of that. At least then, if it's in writing, you've got documentation of, no, they were late,
I'm not saying not keep documentation, I'm saying not provide it to the employee, just keep something on file.
Are you allowed to keep documentation though, without?
Why not? Yeah, you can keep an employee
Allowed
file.
to do what you want, I believe.
But where's the proof though that you had a discussion with the employee about something?
At least you have a handwritten documentation that the employee has been warned. The employee does know, and it's like a double check if that's in the file. Yes, I did tell somebody about it. What if you have an employer who has something against that person that's never done anything wrong, but he's writing in the file every day, came in late, didn't show up, messed up this, messed up that. You have no cross-checking.
I just think you're opening up a can of worms if you maintain a file on somebody and then you bring that individual, or you bring an issue up with that individual as a reason for termination, then it's a problem.
Yeah, Bob did say that at one time, a couple, 3 years ago, it's at will, let them go,
Yeah.
period.
That's, we had a station manager here not too long ago that didn't have to have no reason. He was just told you're an at-will employee, and you're terminated. I think if we just said something, you're fired or you're let go because of this or that, we might have had a problem. He would have had a reason then to fight it. And if you're writing stuff down, that's foiable, does that enter into it? I have no idea. I think going
I
to a
don't know
lawyer is the
either.
way to go, eh? See what he thinks.
This follows my old management training, but that's been a
Right.
long time ago, so.
But
I-
it depends on the type of workforce. If you have a unionized labor force, yeah, absolutely, you gotta keep documentation and you gotta do the process with each employee. But in the process of an at-will situation, you're just creating more issues than what you would probably, need to do. It just, if you have a problem with the employee, then make the adjustment.
Because the last person that left our employee, I don't know if you know, but I was notified by the state and tried to be dragged into it and had to give my opinion, and I gave my opinion, and then was sent a letter from the state saying that they had dropped the issue, that they felt this young person did not have a case. But they didn't ask me for documentation or anything, they just asked me my opinion, because she said I was the human resource person for this commission, which surprised me a lot.
Congratulations on your promotion.
Well, I see no reason that we can't include it in the thing and then just send it to Bob, and he'll
There you go.
let us know. Okay,
So, Sue, do you mean to send that with the handbook stuff?
when we finally get,
Whoever has that in a
I can
digital
send you the
version?
Word document. I believe I did, but I can double check and make sure I did.
Oh, you did, okay. Because you know what, it's in the right format, okay.
okay, and a budget workshop? Lori, did you?
I think that we need to schedule something. We don't have a budget to review for 2017 at this meeting, so if we don't want to have a December meeting, we need to approve the budget in November, for our November meeting. So I think we need to schedule a budget workshop session so that,
Sorry.
Okay.
You want to do it now, or do you want to send out a note and have everybody say what's, I mean, I'm ready to do it now, so. Is everybody else ready?
I can pick a day. So anybody else who's interested in attending a budget workshop session, you guys want to pick a day? Anyone?
We can only have, what, 2 there, right?
I think we've done this in the past, is that it's an open meeting.
Oh, the workshop is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Our next meeting would be November 28th, so we need to have this in good shape for that meeting, so,
If you want the new guy involved in this, and it has to be after the 21st, because the 21st is when they swear people in at the
well,
township.
I don't think
think
we'd
that
want to
matters.
wait that long, because,
It has to be before the 21st then.
What date were you thinking?
do you guys like to stick with Mondays? Anybody available, Monday the 7th?
Mondays are always, any Monday's good for me.
What time are you talking?
Yep, I'm okay.
Anytime anybody wants to meet.
Well, depending on the time, I'm available on the 7th.
What time is good for you, Ed?
Well, I would prefer 4 o'clock or sooner.
Good for me?
Is everybody available during the day, or do we need to make it later?
I'm available during the day. On the 7th.
You would do like 10 or 1?
10 in the morning?
Yeah.
Oh, 1 in the afternoon is fine.
Okay. How about 1 o'clock on the 7th?
1 o'clock on the 7th. Is that official?
Do you want to do it here?
Sure. Well, does that work for you guys?
Well, let me,
Works for me, sure,
I don't
Victor.
know, let me call and see if the room's
Is there anything
available.
going on here at the time?
That's what she was looking at.
Oh,
but,
okay.
It's at 1 o'clock, I said.
1 o'clock on the 7th of November.
1 o'clock, right?
Hey, Joe, it's Sue. I'm down in the cable meeting, and can we get the council chambers on November 7th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon? November 7th, yeah,
The day before election.
Monday, November 7th at 1.
Let's go shopping for, go. Let's go shopping.
It's
for
clear?
clothes.
Okay, thank you.
Bring some to show.
Thanks, bye. Okay,
Okay?
yep.
Yeah, officially got it on my list.
There you go.
I'll send out a notification. Just to be sure everyone's on the same page.
You know, I might not be here. If I'm not, you won't need me, right? It just dawned on me.
Okay. Okay, got that done. Committee reports? Does anybody have anything technical, personnel, facilities?
I have a question, if I can bring it up. If you don't want me to bring it up, just tell me that you don't want to talk about it, but you sent the email out regarding the
Proposal?
proposal for, I'm assuming that the proposal was to include an opportunity for us to be involved in,
Yes.
Am I missing something?
Well, they haven't, council hasn't seen this proposal at all. All we've got is just paperwork. We're having a meeting Thursday at Do you guys know what time? I think it's at 6. Might be 7. I can let you know.
Either 6 or 6:30, but it's in the 6 hour.
Yeah, at the church, Emmanuel Congregational Church over here. And the public is invited.
It's in the paper.
Yeah. And they're supposed to do their presentation, answer questions.
So he's proposing to provide us, the cable commission, or the TV station, some,
I don't know.
okay?
I do know that the first floor is going to be open. Put it that way. There will be no living on the first floor. I do know that. At least that's what's in their proposal.
Could we back up just for a minute to the technical committee?
Sure.
Does the technical committee want to get in, or should they get involved with this drone?
I would think that we need to decide whether we think it's a good idea or not, and then maybe turn it over to you guys to investigate and come back and make a recommendation.
Okay.
I think it's a great idea, it's just that I think you need somebody who knows how to fly them.
I think you can learn how to fly them though. But do you guys, as the station, is that something that you're interested in?
Yeah, actually, yes. If we're going to do the cocky that she did for boats that she did, it would have been great. We're talking about buying a camera on the head and the drone to work that thing. If you're going to the lake somewhere, that's a pretty cool thing to do.
We've done a lot of shoots, guys, like, wow, I wish we had a drone.
Yeah.
Like, even just going out to Oakwood Lake Park and the kayak guys out there, and, you know, it would have been very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think though, you know, in a parade, the liability of
Right,
hitting somebody,
sure.
it just, there needs to be care of whoever's flying it and making sure that they're competent, and, you know.
Well, and I
that's
think
not
there needs to be some rules too.
a free-for-all. You know?
Yeah.
I think the commissioner should definitely get involved.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot that could be done with it, but I would think that we need, if we're going to do it, we need to have some rules set down and not just be buzzing around people and
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, of
Even
course.
so, yeah.
and stuff like
As far
that.
as
Oh, sure.
From the staff, it's not, they're not gonna treat it any.
We can't hear you again.
Camera.
Terry, you need to go up here, I
Would
guess.
the village allow a drone?
I insisted the other day that she'd tell you guys.
As far as the staff is concerned, they're going to treat it like they treat the rest of our equipment. They're not going to be irresponsible with it, but you're right, rules need to be laid down as to where, but I'm thinking more on independent shoots that we go on. There's been so many times that Kyle has driven around Oxford to do another promo for Oxford, and he's driven his car. Otherwise he could stand on the sidewalks or next to the lake and do wonderful stuff with it. But yeah, in a crowd, we would definitely be careful and have to set some rules up. But the parade is one of my first thoughts. In fact, 2 years ago, somebody did have a drone. I don't know who that was. I wanted to get their footage. But
We just have to be aware of any restrictions that,
Yep.
for instance, the fire department or the police department might have relative to the more populated areas. If you're out by Stony Lake Park, it's a pretty free area, but if you're in downtown
Right.
Oxford, it's another story altogether.
right.
Yeah.
I can see if you bought a fairly sophisticated piece of equipment, many of the, like maybe the police, maybe the school, or somebody might want to use it and borrow it, it would be a community thing more so than just dedicated to the TV station. It's just, who's going to fly them? I watched them out here the one day there, and they weren't a toy.
No.
Oh, no,
No.
no, no, no.
No, some of the ones right now have obstacle avoidance built right into them. They know when they're going to run out of power, which is always the big limitation on a drone. I think most of them will last maybe 45 minutes, and you better find out a way to come down softly at that point.
Well, the one that I was watching, it flew far beyond the capability of the transmission. And the guy said, well, hopefully it comes back, 'cause that's what it's designed to do. And they sat there and waited and
Yeah.
waited and waited.
Yeah, well, they
And
do
it
have,
did- It did come back.
they have their own GPS.
Yeah.
The good
Right.
ones.
Right.
Well, I think, I love the idea, and I hope that we can get a good one. My son has had several of the $50 to $100 ones, and they last about an hour. So, I'd prefer to see good money spent on a high quality, something that has all those capabilities. I know some of them can even land themselves, and
Well, you've got durability you want to consider too.
Right,
You don't want a toy.
right.
That's right.
But like the other day, it was I saw in the news that somebody's drone was buzzing the Channel 4
Helicopter.
chopper,
Yeah.
helicopter, and they ended up having an accident with it, so I just hesitate about things like that. But I think it's a good idea.
Trust the person working it as well.
Okay, so we'll put it on the next agenda. Managers report? Bill?
Me? Oh, not much to really talk about. If it's the last page, you can look at our newsletter that we have. Just want to point a couple of things like the newsletter about the viewers that we have now, we're doing now on YouTube. From 2013 to 2015, we have gained over 300% viewers. We also have 5 volunteers we use, and another one coming up very soon. So we're just a busy little station, but no problems right now, so that's an easy manager's report today.
Okay.
The other document that's there for reference is a proposed meeting schedule for 2017. We can act on that, I believe,
The
in
November
the next
meeting.
meeting.
Yeah, so everybody look over and see if the dates are,
Oh, I missed one other thing, I'm sorry.
okay.
On YouTube, once again, on volleyball with the girls, sports, we got one hit, 1,750 hits for volleyball on our station. And that's amazing to us. One game
On YouTube?
on YouTube.
What was going on for that one game? Was it a rivalry or something?
No, it's Bloomfield Hills. It was just a regular game. They all,
And that was like within a week.
yeah, boom, here they go.
Figured it out.
well, those girls wear very short shorts.
I think that's what it is. I guess I should look and see what we're broadcasting here.
And the JV was really good this year too, so they got a lot of hits. The JV volleyball. They were good.
Huh.
That's right. Didn't play that game.
Yeah.
Okay, commissioner comments, Ed?
I have no comments.
Lori?
Nothing.
Char?
I don't have anything.
Buck?
The only thing I have to say is this is my last meeting other than the budget meeting, and it's been great. Had a lot of fun. And nice working with you guys.
Nice one.
Thank you, Buck.
Thank you for your service, Buck.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you.
You'll have to go back to me. Buck, we have a cake for you to celebrate, and we've really enjoyed working with you. Thank you for your friendship and your leadership and everything that you have done.
Yep. Give him a lot for that. Public comment? Okay. I will entertain a motion to
I make a
adjourn
motion
so we
that
can
we
have
adjourn.
cake.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Sotheby, supported by Kreiderman. All in favor?
Aye.
Post same sign.
Was that a rum cake?
I hope so. We were on it.
And here's a knife.
Sure.